Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Phoenix Wright, Attorney Spirit of Justice. In the previous episode, we begin today's trial with investigating, cross-examining Soren Sprocket's testimony. Today we're going in greater detail on what happened that night. If you're hyped for today's episode, make sure that like button and support is greatly appreciated to the channel. Now let us begin. And this we'll be using for the thumbnail pic right here. The truth. The truth is, I went to the visa deck with Pierce. That's why my name doesn't appear on the whole entry record. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over. Well, this doesn't help me one bit. Mr. Sprocket, you can steal information from us time and time again. Who do you think you are, treating this court of law with such irreverence? That being said, I do appreciate the testimony you gave just now. Thanks to you, we know why your name doesn't appear on the entry record. Now there are no more inconsistencies in the witness testimony. Ugh.
That's Mr. Edgewood for you. He never leaves a loose end dangling. You okay, Nick?
I wouldn't exactly call the situation okay. Somehow I'll have to coerce, I don't know, the information we need for an opening out of him. If I even can, that is. All that's left to do is just press on forward. That's all we can do. Dun-dun-dun-dun. The truth. You can't handle the truth. The truth is I went to the visa deck with Pierce. Press.
Hold it!
You didn't mention this because you didn't want Mr. Nakoni to fall under suspicion. Is that because he has something to hide? I just didn't want the police to take up his time with all the questions, that's all. Neither the company nor the household would function smoothly without him. I see. Wow, sounds like Pierce is absolutely indispensable to the Sprockets after 1 year. Anyway, getting back to your statement. When did you meet up with Mr. Nakoti? We met up on my way to the visa deck. I think Pierce and some of my relatives were on another floor, but Pierce heard the commotion and came right to my aid. He could hear the pandemonium all the way from another floor? Mr. Wright, would you like the current statement added to the witness testimony? Okay, have it added. I did not expect this to happen. Yes, please, Your Honor. Very well. Pierce heard the commotion and he came running. How fast? Did Mr. Nakoni come alone? I believe some of his subordinates were with him, but I don't remember exactly how many. He may say there were others, but seeing how they pulled their second position off, I can't completely trust anything he has to say either. I see, so you, Mr. Nakoti, and a few others headed to the visa deck, is that right? That's right. That's why my name doesn't appear on the court entry record.
Hold it!
Your name doesn't appear on the whole entry record, because you entered with Mr. Nakoti using his key card. That's right. So I guess the whole entry record doesn't matter as much as we thought. But now that Soren's saying he was with Pierce and a few others, it's pretty tough to refute that statement. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Got your tongue? Did you finally realize there's no point in continuing this trial any longer? Of course not! I'll wipe that smug look off your face. Mr. Sprocket, please continue with your testimony. Huh, didn't expect him to say that. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. Speaking of your injury, how are you doing now? How's this relevant? The knife wound is deep and continues to throb with pain. Fortunately, my internal organs were spared, but one wrong move would spell the end for me there. Even so, I've seen you up and about all over the place since the incident. only following my doctor's orders to perform some daily light exercises. Mr. Wright, would you like Mr. Sprocket's statement out of his condition added to his testimony? Not that it appears especially relevant to me. Should I have him add his testimony? Have it added. Go on. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have it added to his testimony. I see. Very well. The knife wound is quite deep and continues to drop. Is that what we did, or which one was it? By the time? Yeah, go. Ah, great! We didn't even...
That son has too many secrets. I bet he's still hiding other things too.
That's definitely a possibility. But in a situation like this, what we have to do is go back to the basics.
You mean go over the testimony and check for any lies and consistencies?
You got it.
Alright, Nick. Let's go for it.
I didn't finish the last two. I think those were the last two. Because, let's see. This one, from being stabbed, there you go. The knife, there you go. Let's press on that. Your injury was really that deep? Luckily, it missed my internal organs. Otherwise, I wouldn't be alive right now. According to his doctor, his injury will take about 3 weeks to heal. There's no way someone with that kind of injury could have gone along the outside wall. But he might have been able to with the burst of adrenaline brought on by the pain. Adrenaline. Is that your answer for everything? In a court of law, the only thing that matters is evidence, not rampant speculation. At least admit it's scientific rampant speculation. Yes, of course. What was that? Okay, this is where we press. So you still insist that you reached the Visa deck after the murder had occurred? Is that correct? Yes, that's right. Ellen must have killed him. There's no other explanation.
I guess whether Pierce was with Story or not doesn't change the outcome.
I guess not. In fact, more witnesses actually makes it worse for us. So another cover-up. Okay. The basics is just to go back to what we could find, right? What is it that we have? The blood? Note to self, do not press anything stupid. Cause what else is there to cover up? A heart-shaped key used to activate the time key. I do not understand what's that important. Bloodstain that was found on the blood side. It matches the blood of the candelabra. The candelabra hold up. A candelabra from the hole bearing fingerprints from Blue's right dominant left hand, stained with the same blood found on the lift. The blood was from Soren. Something that would pierce deeply. But it got the doctor's approval that it was exactly what it is. Autopsy report. Cerebral hemorrhage, one contusion, blah blah. That has nothing to do with it. Ellen can be seen near the... Grab Ellen when convenient, then send her off from the Visa deck. But who could have wrote it? The restore lantern. There's a blood stain on the inside wheel handle, as if somebody grappled with a bloody hand. The bloody hand. I really got nothing. I need to review everything we got. Okay, you got the hand right there. That's the pedal. That's the note. It wasn't fully restored. The candle from the hole, bearing fingerprints from the Bloomsbury dominant left hand, staining with the same blood found on the lift. Truth is, I went to the Visa deck with Pierce. Pierce heard the commotion and he came running. That's why my name doesn't appear on the old entry record. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. The knife wound is quite deep and continues to throb with pain. The knife? No, that's not what we found. There was no knife.
Objection!
Mr. Sprocket, you just said your injury is a knife wound, didn't you? But the weapon you were stabbed with was this candelabra. A fact I know you're quite aware of. Back to where we present him. Very well, blah blah blah. This is what I heard directly from Master Soren himself. As you surmise, Master Soren was stabbed on the day of the murder, and after the first wedding reception. Okay, maybe we could use this. Even he stated it. Stated it. Hello.
Objection!
It must have been simple memory slip that made him misspeak. It happens to everyone. It has nothing to do with the case. It does. You must have been pretty desperate to point out something to some minute. I have to agree, Mr. Wright. You hardly need to make such a big deal over such a small mistake. But I contend that's an important inconsistency. Besides, I couldn't find anything else. This is the only thing that I had to go after. And I said it's not a part. Now, let's not waste any more time on this matter. I agree. Everybody has a little memory lapse every now and then, but he has a big one.
Hold it!
But, Your Honor, please, let me explain. What, can you? Can you really explain to this court what makes the slip so important? Yes, I can, Your Honor. After all, it was Soren himself who told Pierce that he had been stabbed by a candelabra. This is more than a simple memory slip. There has to be some kind of reason for it. Well, Mr. Wright, please explain why the witness slip of the tongue is so important. Please tell me you give me the point to focus on here is why the witness would mistake the weapon used to stab him. Think carefully, Phoenix. This could be very well change the course of the trial. I see. So why did the witness make that mistake, Mr. Wright? Mr. Sprocket identified the wrong weapon used against him because he misspoke. He has no memory of it. That's why I stated like a few episodes ago. He has no memory of it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, we are. It's a concussion right here. He doesn't remember the incident, let alone the weapon used against him. Not only that, but I believe Mr. Sprocket has some sort of memory disorder. Yes, I was right! Therefore, the defense contends that Mr. Sprocket's testimony thus far is invalid.
Objection!
I was right! I was right! Just because you can't find a flaw in this testimony, you want to throw it all out? Your baseless claim is nothing but pure slander of the witness' character. Mr. Edgewood is correct, Mr. Wright. Can you explain your grounds for making this claim? Of course, Your Honor. Think of what Soren has said, how he's behaved. That's where I'll find a clue. Very well, let's hear your argument then. My grounds for claiming that Mr. Sprocket has a memory disorder is his notebook. The notebook he always has with him. I saw daily events and information about the people around him recorded in it. Like a diary, perhaps? No, Your Honor. It's much too detailed to be an ordinary diary. It's more on the order of a database, actually. A database, you say? That's right. For some reason, Mr. Sprocket is apparently unable to retain memories. That's why he writes every little detail of his life down in his notebook.
Objection!
I was right! How could you possibly know that for sure? He might just be an extremely compulsive person. Oh, that's just dumb. I thought so too, myself, at first. To be honest, we accidentally got a stain on the notebook yesterday.
You mean you got a stain on it?
Hey, you're the one who tried to grab it out of my...
Objection!
Never mind whose fault it was, just get to the point already. Right, sorry. But I was right. Mr. Sprocket, like I said, check back a few episodes ago, maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, I'm not quite too sure, number 75, number 76, but one of those 2 episodes, I did state that he had a memory problem. I thought it's a concussion because I remember a movie or a documentary that a football player had a few concussions, and then after seeing a doctor and his manager or coach, whatever, after a few talking with him, he's like, "Coach, what are you doing here?" Then after a few sentences, blah blah, back again. "Coach, what are you doing here?" And that's why you're having like a memory lapse here and there. It's like a concussion to the head. That freaking car crash did something to it. Mr. Sprocket? The page Miss Faye got a stain on yesterday. That's the page with the details of your stabbing on it, isn't it? No, I only write in this notebook because I'm very compulsive. Oh, you're just making conjectures. Now drop the subject already. Sorry, but I'm not convinced. I noticed an odd fact about your notebook, Mr. Sprocket. An odd fact? On the earlier pages, you used it to write down invention ideas. But after a certain date, you started writing down a lot more and in much more detail. I believe your memory disorder stems from what happened on that date. Something so monumental it caused a memory disorder, Mr. Wright? You don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but I do know what I'm talking about, including me. And this is the proof. This is the thing that caused Mr. Sprocket's memory disorder. Yo, I was right. You were involved in this car accident too, weren't you, Mr. Sprocket? And the shock of losing your beloved sister, older sister, who is fine as hell, is what caused you to develop your memory disorder. Is this true, Mr. Sprocket? Well, is it? Mr. Sprocket! It's true. That accident did something to my mind. What? Ever since that day, every time I go to sleep, I lose my memories. And when I wake up, the most recent thing I can remember is the day I lost my sister. It's as if I'm constantly going back in time. What? That's truly tragic. An inconsolable time traveler who goes back in time whenever he goes to sleep.
And he's the one who's a living proof?
So that's what Sora meant. He was talking about himself. The reactions of the people around me each time I woke made me aware of my condition. That's why I decided to write everything down in my notebook, so I could move forward. So the only memories you have since that day are the ones written in that notebook. That's right. I mean, how old was he? Wasn't he like 10 years ago or something like that? Oh, it was like a few years. And since the page about your stabbing got stained, you couldn't read it from it, could you? There's just one more thing I'd like you to clarify for me, Mr. Sprocket. Exactly what are your feelings towards the victim? Mr. Sprocket's feelings towards Dumas Bloomsbury? That's right, Your Honor. The witness said that every time he wakes up from sleep, his mind goes back to the day his sister died. Mr. Wright, you can't mean... Mr. Sprocket? Your pent-up feelings of anger and resentment towards Mr. Bloomsbury for the accident were renewed each and every time you wake, were they not? Woke, not wake. But you couldn't take it anymore, so you turned it to murder, isn't that right? What? Mr. Wright, are you saying that the witness murdered Mr. Bloomsbury? For revenge? Well, Mr. Sprocket, you can't say that to someone who can't remember anything. Give me the freaking butler! I want to prove that he's guilty of it. No! Miss Wyatt!
Your Honor,
Oh my god. No! What? She's trying to save her hubby. Miss Wyatt, what are you trying to do? She'll do anything. Yo, are we gonna lead to her testimony next? It's either I'm gonna combine both episodes or make it separate. We'll figure this out sooner or later. I guess you really meant it.
Miss, my son didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one who should be convicted.
Are we to understand you're confessing your guilt? No, no, no! Now wait just a minute here. Hold it. Ellen, why would you cover for me? After I testified that I thought you must have killed him.
I'll admit, I couldn't believe my ears at first. But all I want is for you to be happy. Your happiness is my happiness, Soren.
Aww. But without my notebook, I even forget those feelings of yours by tomorrow. Knowing that, do you still feel this way?
You've loved me all this time, the same way you did before the accident. That's how I know that you're the same person I've always loved. No disorder can change that.
The power of love. Ellen. Your Honor, there are two things I'd like to correct.
Two corrections? What are they?
First of all, I want to withdraw one of my statements. About? Dumas was killed? Okay, that one. And the other? Without memories to rely on, I took the police completely at their word. You can't be serious!
So that means Soren never really doubted Ellen in the first place, did he, Nick?
Ellen really does love Soren with all her heart, but in order to save her, I'll still have to go after Soren. I hope you can forgive me, Ellen.
And what is your other correction, Mr. Sprocket?
The truth is, I never felt anger or resentment towards Dumas about my sister. What? Why not? That's because the one who caused the car accident was me. What? So the butler was actually after him? Oh, I get it now! I think this is okay. So if you remember, like I said, following 2 episodes ago, even though this is my prediction right here, where we went back to freaking Cody himself, to Pierce Cody, where I stated that he probably was the guy that's gonna be engaged, this guy here. My theory was that he's the engaged man that was trying to save his freaking sister, who was supposed to be the fiance at that time, and this guy was supposed to be the groom, but he was unable to save her, and this guy was not him, but this guy was the one that freaking caused the accident. So his motive for this was that he can have the same feeling as the lost soon to be his freaking wife to an accident or so per se. So that's the motive. Yo, mind blown. If this is really what it is, then we'll have to press on forward. This has gotta be the reason. This has gotta be the reason. Yo, straight up, I'm gonna make this prediction right here into the freaking future. If this is really what I'm thinking, then okay. Jesus Christ, this is scary every time.
Order in the court. Please continue, Mr. Sprocket.
I'm the one who killed my sister. To protect my career and my future, my father made Dumas take the blame in exchange for money and the position of the lead servant. So... Wait, what? What was the reason? What was the reason again? Hold up. Wait, what was the reason? To protect my career and future, my father made Dumas take the blame in exchange for money and the position of a lead in exchange for... So he took the bribe? And that's why he's the head servant? So you see, Dumas must have held a grudge against me, not the other way around. And he must have attacked Ellen to get his revenge on me. Are you sure about all this, Mr. Sprocket? Very sure. It's all been written down in detail in my notebook.
That notebook's important evidence supplying background to this case. I must insist you submit it as evidence.
It's gonna give us like some important details. The lawyer said I had turned murder, but that's not true. However, it is true that my older sister and Dumas are both dead because of me and my negligence.
I just glanced through Mr. Sprocket's notebook. I wasn't able to read the part about when he was stabbed due to the bloodstain, but what's written here about his sister car accident is exactly as he stated. Your Honor, as long as it matches what's written in that notebook, can we still take the witness testimony as valid, in spite of his memory disorder? Yes, I believe we can. I understand now that the witness test memory is in disarray. But if what Mr. Sprocket himself wrote in his notebook is true, then that means by the time Mr. Sprocket's party reached the scene,
What are you getting at?
the victim had already been killed.
Andrew's right. I'm still in the same bind as before. But should I really simply accept the contents of the notebook as a substitute for Soren's memory?
Someone must have rewritten it!
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Will you accept Mr. Sprocket's notebook as an official representation of his memories?
Will I accept Mr. Sprocket's notebook as an official representation of his memories?
I would say no. Let me look it up. Newspaper article. Second.
He has no memory of it. His notebook. Wait. Statement, knife. He has no memory of it. Second option. It has to be no. Update newspaper article. Yes. Sec option. Yeah, it's no. Straight up no.
Wait a minute, Your Honor. The defense requests a chance to examine the notebook to see if it's trustworthy.
Very well, but be quick about it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So how should we examine it?
Well, we should look at it from all different angles to see if it's anything suspicious. Because he trusts this thing is freaking... Oh, it's playtime now. He trusts that everything is within the notebook. Can we turn the pages? There's no point if I don't look at what's inside. I have to open it. With your permission, Soren, here I go. Can we flip pages and look in deep? Yikes. Well, it's just a page I got all stained. And I guess it's not going to be very helpful at this moment. I'll keep going. Huh? This is the last page where there's writing. Something about this page doesn't sit right with me. I better take a closer look. Can I zoom in? Zoom in here! Examine. Huh? Hold up, I want to check on something real quick right now. That is not it, so go back. This page has been torn out. And it looks like there was something written on it. What's the I stand for? I love you? Nah. Hello? There's lag. It looks like a page has been torn out here. Mr. Sprocket, do you know what was written on it? Oh, that? I often tear up pages when I write somebody a note. I probably wrote something down for somebody, tore it out and gave it to them. That cannot be that note. Oh! But then again, he must have thrown a paper airplane as usual. But his come out perfect. His comes out perfect though. Oh yeah. That solves that then.
Objection!
Wait a minute. We can't ignore the possibility that something important was written on that page.
But now the page has been torn out. How can we determine what was written there?
Well, let's see. To find out what was written in the notebook, we should hold it with light, use fingerprint powder. Is any of these options good besides heat it with a lighter? And there's nothing. I think it's fingerprint. It's fingerprint time. If we use fingerprint powder on the notebook, we might be able to see what was written.
A fingerprint powder? How would that help us out what was written there?
Well, if the writing left indentations on the blank page left behind, fingerprints powder could make the small indentations visible to the naked eye.
Oh, stop. Fingerprint powder would only sully the notebook further. Mr. Wright, if you use the powder and still don't find anything, then you must accept the notebook as a repetition of the witness' memories.
Alright, Your Honor. I understand. If I don't find anything, it's all over anyway. Powder, don't fail me now. I will now use the fingerprint powder on the blank page to find out if we can see what was written on that torn page. Because freaking, it's always with him. First, I touch the spot of dust. Do we have to go over this again? When I must have dusted out enough powder, I blow it. This must be... Oh wait, this is only Phoenix. We did it with Apollo, never mind. To blow the excess. No, we did with Phoenix, what the heck? No, we did with Apollo, there you go. But, let's zoom in real quick. Can we zoom in? No, we can't. Okay, what do we have here? Where was I trying to say? We gave Pierce Cody the notebook in hoping to return it to him. By the time we got to the reception hall, he was all... Huh, I did not expect to blow it. He was all warring left and right on where is it. And then Pierce finally shows up and give him the notebook. He must have tampered with it as evidence. I struck all gold. I killed. I struck and killed Dumas. Is there anything else I can look into besides that? Dumas. To the what? We have to powder everything in this freaking notebook? Dumas took Ellen to the visa deck. I struck and killed Dumas. Is there anything else important in this middle? And who the hell is texting me right now? I should have it on vibrate. Yeah, I think that's about it. It doesn't matter where we freaking present, it's right there, clear as day. It says, I struck and killed Dumas. This is huge. I struck and killed Dumas. That's what was written onto the torn out page, but this definitely... I struck and killed Dumas. What? So that proves that he's the killer. It can't be.
I don't believe it! There has to be some kind of mistake. Someone could never.
It can't be credible then, she fainted. Miss Wyatt!
Bailiff, please get the defendants in the infirmary at once.
To be continued? To be continued? Never mind!
Apparently the defendant got too worked up. She's resting in the infirmary as we speak. Now then, please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. This notebook is all Mr. Spock has to remember things by. Wait a minute, could that be his handwriting? With this critical page torn out. Not even Mr. Sprocket himself knew the truth of what he'd done. Hello? It's lag. Really, this lag. I'm the one who killed Dumas? So it wasn't Ellen? Thank goodness. Mr. Sprocket, does this mean you were at the crime scene during the murder after all? I guess I must have been. Updating the court record. But Mr. Sprocket, can we really believe what's written in this notebook? Nobody touches this notebook but me. Can we figure dust it again? And when I sleep, it's under lock and key. I don't remember writing that I killed Dumas, but I guess I must have.
Well, now that we have a confession, I'm afraid I must render my verdict. Of all the...
Yes, Your Honor. Please give your ruling now while Ellen is asleep. I want the woman I love to be set free as soon as possible.
Someone really does love Ellen after all, doesn't he?
Yeah. So this is how it ends. Is that how it really went down? Is there really no way for them to both to be happy?
I know we should consider anything written in the notebook to be truth, but still.
I myself wrote up the crime in my notebook. No further proof is necessary. Sawyer himself wrote it in his notebook? Wait a minute.
Very well. I will now give my verdict.
Ellen is about to be found not guilty, and Storm will be convicted for the crime instead. And yet, am I really ready for the judge to give his ruling? No! No, not when there's still one more avenue left to explore.
This court finds the defendant Ellen Wyatt.
Your Honor, there's still something that bothers me about that notebook.
Oh, is there? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? All you have to do is keep quiet and your client's a free woman.
I know, but I think there might be more to this case than meets the eye. I'm not quite sure yet, but I think there still might be a way. A way for Ellen and Storm to be happy.
What do you mean by more than meets the eye, Mr. Wright?
I believe the question here, Your Honor, should be, why was the incriminating page torn out in the first place?
Why? To destroy the evidence, I would imagine.
By removing it from the notebook, it is the same as removing it from Mr. Sprocket's memory, which means he wouldn't have been able to trick the police if he came under suspicion. No, if he wanted to cover up his crime, he would have to remember that he had done it.
Just what are you getting at with this line of inquiry, Mr. Wright? Yes, please explain it so that we can all understand.
Yes, Your Honor. The page was torn out of the notebook because somebody else tore it out. Somebody else tore it out? Yes! The incriminating page was torn out by somebody else.
What?
Huh, he would be better looking with a red suit.
Order! Order! Aren't you claiming a third person interfered with the notebook?
Or a fourth person in the crime scene? Ah, great! My 3DS is red. It's on red. Hold up. We go. If not all that surprising if you consider what happened up to now. After both the car accident and the murder of Dumas Gooseberry, there was always a cover-up not far behind. But I had my notebook with me at all times. Did you? Because I remember you were in a panic yesterday because you couldn't find it. That's true.
So who orchestrated this particular cover-up, Mr. Wright?
If we think back over the course of this trial, it's pretty easy to guess. The one who may have tried to tamper with the Storm's memory is none other than... Take that! The one who tampered with the notebook in order to manipulate Mr. Sprocket's memory. Is Pierce Nicody. And we're getting close. Pierce? Pierce tried to tamper with my memories? Pierce was manipulating me? Case in point, the two researchers that were held to cover up the murder. It was Mr. Nicody who directed the gas and orchestrated the entire scheme. No, it can't be. Which of my memories are mine and which have been rewritten? When did he start rewriting my memories? Who wrote this, and this, and this? And, oh my god, he's broken now. He's broken. He's broken. He literally took off!
What?
Can we use that to fully explain about how he got to the visa deck? Look, Nick, he's coming back down. I mean, this is literally a thumbnail pic. Memories? Ellen? Mrs. Sprocket!
Bailiff, please get Mrs. Sprocket to the infirmary on the double.
To be continued? Nope.
Mr. Sprocket has been taken to the infirmary. We don't have to worry about him running away, so let's resume where we left off.
Your Honor, the defense would like to call Pierce Nakota to the stand.
Objection! We already know he carried out the cover-up to protect the company of Mr. Sprocket. What more do you want from him?
This time it's different. That notebook, or rather Mr. Sprocket's memories, have been tampered with. That means the only person who knows the whole truth is now Mr. Nakota.
Don't tell me. Are you actually trying to drum up a third suspect in order to exonerate the defendant and her groom?
I'm not drumming up anything, nor do I have grounds to accuse him of anything yet. All I know is that Mr. Nakota is the only one who knows the truth, and I think he's still hiding something we don't know about yet.
Huh. No grounds yet, is it? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution consent to calling the witness to the stand? It does, Your Honor. However, I would like a little time to talk with the witness before we do. Very well. We will break for a 20-minute recess.
And with that, we'll end on today's episode right here, ladies and gentlemen. I really figured out how this case will go. But make sure to hit that like button, comment, performance. If you're new, if you're like to see, comment, Shortcut 6 TV, and I'm signing out.